Hey guys, JB here, back with you again with more CCLP3. We are on part 14 of this Let's Play. I'm hoping we can get this done under 20 parts, or at 20 parts. That'd be really cool. Anyway, we're here on Mental Blocks, level 131, and this level has kind of an interesting story behind it. You'll notice there are 4 ice paths here. 3 of them lead to death, and whoops, I did not meet you. Pretend you did not see that. 3 of them lead to death. This one on the right leads to life after a couple of seconds. So yeah, water gets filled in there, and you're supposed to figure out you're supposed to go there, but the way you do that is that originally, in Modhov's original set, he's the one who made this, what you were supposed to figure out was that ship, in that version of the level, was facing right. And because of that, that was meant to indicate the direction that ship was supposed to go. Well, when we were making CCLP3 and inducting all the levels into the set, we noticed that in Lynx, all of the monsters faced down. Or, excuse me, not all the monsters. Chip always faced down, no matter if you put him as right in the editor. In MS, he will face whatever direction you want him to in the beginning. It doesn't really matter for gameplay, but here, it did make a difference. And I'm going to do this because I cannot press that button on my own. Now the tanks are out of the way. But yeah, that was the method we originally intended, or Modhov originally intended, to use to have the player figure out what direction to go. But it ended up not really working out for this, and we just ended up changing all of the chip tiles and all of the levels to face down, just so that there wouldn't be any disparity between rule sets in that regard. So yeah, that was kind of an interesting little exercise. But here what we're doing is we're making sure that we switch the toggles so that the teeth won't escape that little area there once we go down. And we have to do it like that because we have to press the button an odd number of times. And we wouldn't be able to do that just by going through the recessed walls without that glider. So that's why I directed the glider to the outside path. Got the... I'm missing a ship. Is it over here in the cloner? It is, okay. So for this one, you have to block up a cloner, and they control the clone machine on the opposite side. So even if I did press that button, this guy would press this button, which would then kill me. So not really good. This level is really not that bad once you kind of get past this first part. It is meant to be kind of a series of, that looks impossible challenges, which is why we put it in the totally unfair slot in the set. This part here is a little tricky. Basically what you're supposed to figure out is you need a blue key to exit, which you can see right there. And there's the blue key there. In order to get to it, you need a green key. You can't go through that bomb. That bomb can't be exploded. Or technically it can, but not to get to the key. So over here, you'll see that there is a glider going around. So once I go through there with the green key, that glider is going to reverse and is going to chase me all the way down here, and I'm going to have to exit out of this that blue wall that I opened up. So very tight timing, and that's an invisible wall, so I cannot get that. We need a red key now. We saw a red key down there, but it was accessible only via teleport. Thankfully, if you look up over in this area, you can see teleports there. And if you know anything about teleports, you can then figure out what path you take to do all that. So let me show you that. You don't want to open that, or you don't want to go in the bottom part yet. You want to do this, and then that, and then you can escape this way. If you go the bottom path, then you won't be able to escape through that top teleports the way I did. I actually exploited that in a later level that I made in this set, where that method actually was required in order to get past that little section. I kind of had a similar mechanism as a reference to that level. And we barely escaped that, but we made it. And now we got lots of gliders, and boom, we are done. So that is Mental Blocks, another in Modhov series of mental issues and stuff. Anyway, the next level is kind of similar thematically. It's called Commit Suicide. This level was made by Ida Robertson, and Ida was really fond of this design tactic of having 3 tile wide paths, which I gotta admit were pretty cool. Now, you can kind of see in there's a bunch of monsters. That's where you go if you lose the level, essentially. And the way you lose the level is you get chips you don't need to get. And you'll basically be forced to kill yourself, which is what the title is referencing. And that's not what I wanted to have happen. That room is a little mean with the blocks under or chips under blocks. Blocks under chips. That's not Links compatible. Let me see if I can figure this out. So there. Okay, there. Good. I don't think there's anything else we need under any of those blocks, so I'm just going to assume that we can carry on. So up here, we do have to get some chips. There are some chips you absolutely have to get, but they're just enough that are required such that those chips are okay. So now let's go through this room, and in here we can get our green key. It was really funny for optimizing this level. I remember after it came out, there was a record that was set, and then it was later beaten because the route for that section was totally non-optimal. And I remember Pie Guy felt really silly, and now I feel really silly for trying to dodge that last chip. That was not very smart. This is yet another exercise in that level that you thought wouldn't trip you up is totally doing it. Let me go ahead and do it this way. The good news is about that room that there really aren't that many chips under blocks. I think it's just like 2 blocks that have chips under them. I just happened to push one of them. But yeah, Ida has a really good knack for aesthetics and design stuff. And I really like her 3-tile wide levels. Like another one that's really cool is called The Key Issue. I'm really hoping that gets into CCLP3. It's a really cool level. And it's very open-ended and really neat. It's basically a level where you have to get rid of keys that you collect at the beginning in order to exit. Pretty neat concept. So here, this level kind of teases you with, did you get all the chips or did you collect more chips than you needed to? You know, it's counting down. If it reaches 0, that's bad. Because there is a socket that you would open up if you went in here with 0 chips remaining. But we didn't, so we exited with only 4 under bold. That's actually kind of surprising considering how many mistakes I made. But speaking of making mistakes, this next level is a good example of that. Think Tank. This is a level I made that honestly I wish I never made. This level was another level to end all other levels. In this case it was with tanks. I wanted to make the ultimate tank level, and in trying I made a level that was monstrously hard. At least from a dodging standpoint, and I just realized I need to go back this way first. Like, once you get past a certain area, it's not that bad, but it's just so much to do in one level that it's overwhelming. It really is overwhelming. I could have made that, but I would have had to wait there anyway. And then there, so. So this room, can you hold down the 3 trap buttons below the force floors? So yeah, you need to get the tanks in this area down here. And the buttons are in different positions because they're connected to some traps that are in different positions. So trying to be pedantic Links compatible and everything. Yeah, I was kind of a little overboard with that. A lot of this controlled dodging here where everything's predictable is not that bad. It's this section that's coming a little later. This room right here in particular is kind of mean. This section right here, this section is kind of a little ridiculous. Yeah, it's a little crazy. The good news is that it's not that bad to time everything. I mean, if you're really careful about it, but still, it's a really mean part of the level. And I'm not the biggest fan of it. Alright, I'm going to try to wait for this guy. There we go. Whoa, I almost died there. Thankfully not. This room is kind of also mean. Whew, we barely survived that. Okay, the good news is that the rest of the level is not that bad. And I'm saying that, and I'm probably jinxing the whole thing right now. So here, one of the ideas I came up with was I wanted to stop everything. So by hitting this toggle button, the fireball that's controlling the tanks is going to drown, and now they've stopped. And now you don't hear any more button presses. So for this section, this gets a little interesting because you have to finagle this block around. You also have stuff to collect down here as well. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, let me just do this first. I'm going to go through here. Wait a minute. I didn't get a key, did I? I had to get that blue key first. This was also a level that was rather interesting to optimize. It was very much a study in monster cycles, which was fascinating. Okay, so we got that done now. Now the challenge is going to be getting down here, but the problem with getting down here is that we need the tanks in the gate, and then this tank is in the way. So I'm going to have to block that tank off there. So we got that in place. And now we actually have to have the tanks going to get the fire boots there. There is fire under that block, which I gotta admit is kind of mean. I wish I did not do that. And then we have this bug ferrying section, which honestly I think is also mean. I think I was kind of on a kick with between this and Twisted Chambers. Okay, so now the bug's gonna do that. Problem is I also need to get the yellow key, so I'm gonna need to release the bug from this current position by doing that. Now, of course, by doing that, I have made this impossible to pass. So I'm going to need to kill the bug, and that's ultimately what this block here is for. So I can just do that with the bug. Press the button to switch it over. So now we got that done. That was the other tricky part. And now in order to exit, I actually need to trap this tank at the bottom, like that. I actually kind of like that mechanism. I think it's pretty cool, that structure. So now, what we need to do is we need to have the toggles in that state so that we can start the process here again. Thankfully, we don't actually have to dodge a tank in that room, which is a relief. So I'm just going to play it safe for now. Just let the tanks go. And just stroll to the exit, pretty much. Which is right up here. And Think Tank is done. Moving on to We'll Be Right Back. This level is quite an amazing puzzle. It is very, very difficult, but very satisfying to figure out. And I'm going to try my best to explain this. It's rather tricky to explain because there are some things you kind of have to discover by failing, but I'll try to explain what those are. So note this right here. We have two monsters, and we have a block. And we have a bomb, water, and a bomb. Now the monsters can destroy the bombs, but we need to fill in the water. So we need to get one of these in first, then push the block in, then get the other monster in. So one thing that makes this level really confusing is this teleporting stuff going on here. So remember, teleports work in reverse reading order. So note how this is set up. We have a teleport there, and it comes before this one in the order. At the same time, we also have this teleport over here, which has a similar issue. It's on the same level as the one that was on the left side. And now the bug is going to go in and destroy the first bomb. So at this point, we have a little bit of a problem here, because the toggle wall down there is closed. Now over here, the block got pushed there, but we partial posted to the other side because the dirt was there, basically. So yeah, that's pretty much what we've got to deal with here. It's very interesting to figure out and rather maddening as well. So essentially, what you have to do is, well, for lack of a better way of putting it, you have to figure out, for one thing, that when you get one monster in, basically what you have to do is that because they close a toggle wall, you have to get the other monster in and then push off the block before it's pushed into the water, and then have the monster go around by starting, because remember, when it goes up through there, there's gravel in both those upper teleports. There's a gravel space under that block. There's a gravel space on the other one. So the next place it's going to go is going, because the toggle wall is going to be closed up at that teleport up there as well. So by default, it's going to come up through here. So that's pretty much what you have to figure out. And really, that's crazy evil. Like, it's kind of crazy to figure that out, to be honest. And you also have to figure out, by extension, what order in which to get the monsters. And the correct order is the fireball first and then the bug. Now, that's pretty much the only way this is going to work. And that's not really what I wanted to have happen. I did not want the bug to go through. Let's try this again. This is a very difficult puzzle, but it's really cool to figure that out. It does require some lateral thinking with respect to the teleports. But once you do get it, it's pretty cool to figure out. So let me get this over here. I'm going to try to get this bug there. Oh, really, Fireball? That's not really what I wanted to have happen there. Don't worry, I'll get it. There's a really lightning fast solution that Pie Guy found that's really nifty, that involves controlling the monsters with precision accuracy. It's not really, like, when I say precision accuracy, it's not like some crazy, insane thing. It's just, optimal. So now the fireball is going around. So that's cool. Okay, so now it's going around there. So that's not what I really want to have happen. I want the fireball to go into... I also did not want to have that happen. Okay, let's try that again. But this time, let's put the block one space below so that the fireball can exit to the room on the left. Because, let me actually show this. If I get the fireball to come in here, and then I get the fireball to... I put the block such that the fireball exits this way. What's going to happen is it's going to turn right here, and then it's going to go like this, go through here, then it's going to do this crazy loop around here. Then it's going to bounce off, go back this way, and then it's going to go all the way over to this side, down here, and then it can go down here. And if I put the block where I'm standing right now, then it will go down. So that's pretty much the itinerary for the fireball. The level is very open, and yet everything as far as wall placement goes is so well done that you do have time to navigate the block all the way out there, which is really nice. Okay, so there we go. That happened. Really? I did not mean to do that yet again. I'm failing miserably on this. I know there's a better way to do this, and I don't even remember what it is at this point. Which is sad, because I recently got the bold time on this level. Because this wasn't on my TWS, and I had to redo it. Okay, so if the fireball... Let's just use logic. It will go up there. Then we can do this. There. Okay. See, that wasn't so bad. Now he will go out there. Then we can do this. Go this way. Let's extract the block before something happens. Too late. Something's about to happen. Well, he's just going to go around again, I think, so we should be alright. So I'm going to go ahead and get the fireball over this way. One thing that really makes this level hard is that the time limit is very short, and that's one of my biggest complaints about it, is that really you need to do this in multiple attempts if you're going to figure it out. So one thing that you may be tempted to think is that if you got the bug out, and at this point you'll notice that the area here is open. So if I got the bug to go around and everything, and if I were to like have the bug go along this area, it's very easy to think that you will have enough time while the bug goes down here and then goes down to then push this block over here, like from this area that you're using it through to ferry the bug this way, and then push it up into this teleport and go straight down and then get back out before the bug destroys the bomb. Turns out you don't have enough time to do that. You're going to miss it by just like a move, which is pretty mean, but it's that way by design. And right now I'm trying to remember how best to ferry this guy. Because he's going to come out this way. He's going to go around. He's basically just going to go around. So what you want to do is you want to have him go on the outside, the outer area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this over here. And while he goes over there, he's going to come all the way around again. And this time he's going to go around the outer edge, which will afford us the perfect opportunity to catch him as he goes like up here. There's also bugs circling around the outer edges of the level for some reason, which I think is kind of neat. Alright, so he's going to do all that. So what you want to figure out here is that you just want to push the block in like we discussed earlier, because that's going to cause the bug to go around again. And so now all you have to do is just wait for quite a while for the bug to come back all the way around and through this area. Because remember, he's going to have to start all the way here. He's going to go all the way around all the outer edge. That's pretty much the big twist to this level, is that you have to do all this waiting right at the end. So you can't just blast your way to the exit. Yeah, it's kind of tricky to figure out. It took me a while to figure it out, but we got it, and we are free to move on to level 135. Oh boy, color wheel. This level, man, this level is hard. Basically, this is a level by Pie Guy. It's a really interestingly designed level. There was nothing really like it at the time, which I think is one reason why it did well in voting. And it involved a pretty interesting puzzle, to be honest. So, first things first, we have to clone some gliders here. So, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what, I'm actually just going to go ahead and just clone. Then clone another 2 and just see what happens here. Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted to have happen. Except not. I don't know. Oh, that was really dumb. I don't know why I did that. That was really stupid. But you can see some trap buttons there. That's ultimately what our goal is. But it's going to take a little bit of cleverness to get all the blocks all the way around. And you have to get all 4 through this entire maze of stuff, which is really tedious. That's one of the reasons why I forgot to put a block there. One of the reasons why I'm not the biggest fan of this level. Not to mention that the bold time still eludes me. I'm 3 seconds away from bold on this, and I don't know what I'm missing. And there we go. Okay. Now, come to think of it, I'm not sure that really accomplished much as far as being able to get a block through here, because I think now... Oh yeah, I can destroy one of those. And then... how am I going to handle these? I have to destroy all those too. Okay, well the good news is that I can... I didn't mean to do that, but... the glider is going to backtrack through this whole area. You can see the pie right there, and that bomb should get destroyed without any problem. So now the challenge is going to be how we're going to get the other two destroyed. And did I just misplace that block again? No, I didn't. Oh, wait, I had to put this block over. I'm already forgetting how this works. There's a really awesome way to do this with collisions, and it's crazy, and that was a failure. Yeah, I'm trying to remember how to do this, and it's not working out. My mind is turned to mush right now, again. I just got off the phone with a friend of mine before recording this, and... oh, great, now it's going to go all the way around again. Really? I feel like that pretty much... you know what? Let's start over. Let's start over. That was stupid. I'm being really dumb here, and I should not be. This is not really that hard. You know what? I'm just going to clone a bunch. And then that happens. Okay. I gotta admit, this was probably not the smartest idea in the world, but if it helps get the level solved a little bit more quickly, I am for that. And right now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to push these. I'm going to do that. See how that works out. Because some of them ought to come back through here. I think they would come back through here at least. Come on, guys. Okay, let's just work with this. Whoa! That was a little scary. There we go. Now we can push this over here. Yay, okay. That's better. So now we have this little teleport maze to go through. This is interesting. It's rather fascinating to optimize in MS, mainly because you have this mouse area over there that you can use. And actually, I just realized I messed that up. I need to go through and push it more to the right because I need to catch it there. I'm going to do this level the intended way. I'm not going to take any shortcuts or anything. And it's going to take a little bit longer, but I think it'll be worth it. So I'm going to push this up now. And from here, I'm going to go this way. Thankfully, the path becomes a little bit more obvious once you go through this. And then you get push it all the way around this way. And then we cross back over into the green area where we have toggle madness, basically. There's a rather nasty trick that you can do by creating slide delay with that force floor, which enables you to skip this section, which is quite an interesting trick to do. But I'm not going to do that here. I'm not going to take a risk like that here in the Let's Play. Alright, so this is block number 1. We got block number 1 over here. And there is a hint that says that the trap buttons are connected vertically. I'm just going to move all the blocks in here for now, and then we'll figure out what's what after that. And this is not my idea of a fun time, having to dodge these guys, but we'll make do with it. I think pushing that there should ward them off for now. And I'm trying to remember what teleport we went through to make that work. With the first one? It must have been that one right there. Yep. Okay, good. Oh, wait, no, we have to push it up. Duh. I'm already forgetting how to do this. This is really sad. In case you couldn't tell, I'm not really fond of this level, if I can be really honest. I mean, at the time, it was really cool design-wise. But since then, there have been so many other levels that involve color, like I made a level called Color Coordination, which I really hope makes it into CCLP4. Josh made a really cool level called Color Spectrum, which was very similar. It was to this one, and that it involved like a rainbow of stuff. Andrew Menzies made a level called Roy G. Biv, where you had to do everything in color order. That was a rather interesting challenge. Jeffrey made a level called Diametric Opposition, which is another level I really hope makes it into CCLP4, along with Roy G. Biv, in which there were two mirrored areas where there were corresponding tiles, which was a really neat concept. And why am I doing this in the most ridiculous way imaginable? That's really dumb. Actually, no, that is the ideal way, is to put it there. Let's just keep it there. Hopefully I will not get hit by gliders. Okay, good. So yeah, this is pretty much all this level is block pushing. And then on top of that, you also have this tank area at the end. And that section of the level has a rather interesting story behind it too. And I may be wrong about the details of this, so if I'm wrong about this, somebody correct me. But if I recall correctly, in the original version of this level, there was a pretty easy puzzle to solve at the end involving controlling the tanks. And then Pi Guy released a level in his set Pi Squared, where he had a level that was just the end of this one. And it was basically the original ending, which was a lot harder. And I don't know if it was that one or the original that made it into CCLP3. I want to say it was the easy one, because I seem to recall that the ending that was in the Pi Squared version was a little bit more involved. I could be wrong, though, but I think that was the case. I have not seen those gliders. I don't know where they went. They didn't all die, did they? Did it? I thought there was one left over, at least. Oh, wait. I have to go this way. I'm not going to go down. I have to go this way. So yeah, that's pretty much all this level is. It's just block pushing. And you get to see some pretty colors, which is cool. There's also the opportunity not only to use the mouse in that room, but also, I think, in this room as well. Although I'm not sure if the... Yeah, I think the route I have actually uses it at least once. Most of the blocks don't even come through here because of the slide delay trick, but I think at least one of the blocks, the one you have in here, you can use the mouse on that. Okay, so we got a puzzle here at the end. So, first things first, we need this trap to be open to get a block to this button. We ultimately need those two to be hit at the end, and I'll show you what our goal is, and now I see where the gliders ended up. This is a really interesting setup, and it kind of makes me a little nervous, but we need to push the block across the tank button, because we can't make it through that unless a tank button is hit on 2 consecutive moves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push a block here, I believe, and then what I can do is I can get a block. Well, first of all, let me position one block up here. Let's do that first, just so we can follow along with it. We'll need to get a block through here, right? Then, in order to do that, we need to get one other block, like over here, this way, so that we can open that up. And then after that, we need to get a block on that button, and we can actually use this one to accomplish that. I don't know if there's any special tricks that you need to... Oh, we also need to get one there as well. We can use that one for that. Like, this block is pretty much going to be our multi-purpose tool here. So I'm going to go ahead and just push that up. And whoa, I almost spring stepped there. So I'm going to push that there. And then this guy is going to go down through there like such that I can move that up. Okay, so now I'm in a position now where I can get a block here. And I think what I can do with this is I can use this block for now. I'll have to move it back down later. But I can at least do this. Let me go ahead and push one there. And then I can get the other one held down by this button, say. We can use this. Okay. So let me go ahead and push this like that. So now all we have left is pushing. Wait a minute. We need both of them held down. Oh, right. We got that one held down, so it's just this one. Phew, for a minute there I thought we had cooked the level. That would have been terrible at this point. Just going to say, I thought this was the solution, so there we go. We got that done. I do like the fact that gliders got into a stable sort of thing there, but I'm going to mess that up right now. Alright, there we go. And you guys can just go down there. Alright, so here you have to push this twice in order for that to go up, and then just push this 3 times. That should be enough to solve this room. And we're done with Color Wheel. What a level. And in the next video, we're going to take on Grand Prix, which is one of the levels I designed that ended up being way more complicated than it needs to be. So we'll take that on next time. But for now, this has been JB saying goodbye. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the flip side.